Yeah, this is the UDO Super Gemini. I think one of the the biggest highlight of the Superbooth 23 because the booth is always super busy. And I'm here with George. How are
Hi,
you?
hi Tom. Yeah, good. Thanks. How are you?
Fine.
It's,
What I say now, I have the impression this is the highlight because this booth is always full.
well, yeah, that's a curse and a blessing. It's very nice. I've been very touched about the interest we've had, and obviously we've been working really hard at it. We've been working hard with the Super Sixes and the desktops for a while, and this really is a continuation of the family.
Maybe it would be
and what we're
interesting
doing.
how long you worked on this on the Gemini. Or is
Um,
it a parallel thing?
well, we've been working on the Super 6 and the desktop, and at the same time we've been developing the sort of code base for this, and it's about a year, you know. As a company, to sort of keep going and to keep supporting your customers, you have to basically bring new products out and keep it going. So we wanted to bring out something which is part of the same family, that shares the ethos, the experience, and really so that we can, you know, keep thriving and surviving and keep doing our best for people, really. And yeah, so we brought the Super Gemini, and it's certainly a synth I always wanted. You know?
And the Super Gemini is let's say the difference to the Super 6 because it's part of the family.
Yeah.
What is now, if you are now in the shop and see the Super 6 and Super Gemini, what is now the difference? We see it as it's double.
Yeah.
It has a double engine, but what's the most, I see now the key differences?
The key difference really is the dual layer bitimbrality. So this adds a second timbre, and it also adds an additional keyboard octave with poly aftertouch, with an expression slider. It allows a ring modulator and wave morphing. Other than that, really, the sound engine is the same. So this is 20 voices, this is 12 voices, this is 12 voices. And what gave me the inspiration was when I do performances, I use the Super 6 and a desktop. So I MIDI from the Super 6 to the desktop, which means I'm able to freeze the delay and then adjust my sounds and make layers come in and out. And really, I wanted to make an instrument that that kind of captured that performance aspect, so that you can kind of go on a journey with one sound and then bring in another sound and then kind of go all around.
And the moment where the Fatah poly aftertouch keypad becomes available, you said
It's got to be that
yes.
one. Yeah, it's got to be that one. Which I was reticent about because I didn't think actually you could do that. It was possible to play. I didn't think you could articulate your fingers individually, but with a little bit of practice, it is possible.
But you had to, let's say, adjust the engine. Do you have the poly aftertouch, or is it?
No, so I mean, you can connect this to one of these, and these will respond to poly aftertouch in exactly the same way. So these are already MPE capable, and poly aftertouch they'll receive. So we'd already done the work. So that when we got the poly aftertouch keyboard, I just had to get the scanning right and the response right, because actually the response is quite important. It's got to be just right. So Fatah have been very helpful.
And you added one more expression layer with this new touch script here.
Yeah. It's a nice feature. We when we were thinking about it, we weren't sure whether to put this in, but we decided to in the end because it is actually really nice, and you can do trills. As well as kind of big synthy slides. So I find it really nice. It's really good for soundtracky stuff.
I read a bit of on the internet the reaction, and people said it's kind of CS-80.
Yeah, come on, let's make no mistake. It's like I'm not quite sure who the Yamaha designer of the CS-80 was, but obviously the Roland in the 80s made the Jupiter-8. It's kind of like a mixed. It's like it's
a child of the CS-80
and the Jupiter-8. You know, the voice architecture looks like 80s Roland, and then the actual structure is very much like the CS-80.
And I'm pretty sure it was again Axel Hartmann, the designer.
Yes, yeah. Where we work with Axel and Axel's team again. They did an excellent job, and so hopefully you can see the family lineage, but also, you know, Magnus, my brother, and Studio Foss, who, you know, work on the front panels and all of the kind of visual presentation of it. And yeah, a lot of people have had their hands in it, essentially, to make it what it is.
George, I think we have it's time to dive into mix sounds.
Well,
people want to hear it.
Yeah, as usual, it's like every time we do a little demo at the Superbooth, it's kind of, it starts in a random point because whoever played it last has left it. But I'm quite good. I put no presets on this before we came here, so everything we hear is just manual. So. Cool.
That's impressive.
Well, I hope you like it.
It's really a dense sound. It really fills the room.
Yeah, well, it does help that the speakers are actually quite good. We get given these to use by Superbooth, which is brilliant. And yeah, it's quite an echoey, reverby room. So in the room, it sounds great. I hope it still sounds great on speakers when people listen at home.
So when we can expect it on the market, and how much of our heart or our legs we need to spend to get it?
Yeah, so it should be available in autumn. They will unfortunately be available in quite limited numbers to begin with. We're working on the Super 6 in the desktop at the moment, so we've got an update to do for these, and then when we've done that, we're getting full on to finishing this off. So we're looking at autumn this year, and it's going to set you back around €4,000.
Mm-hmm. And there's an update coming for Super 6 bug fixes and so on.
Yeah, that's correct. So obviously some of the things that we're learning from here as well, that this has given us a vessel to sort of improve things. I've made some interesting sonic improvements to noise, so we're going to make those in here. So yeah, we've got a little bit of work. We're still, we haven't even called it version 1.0 yet. I think that's, you know, we've got more features in there than we planned at release. Things have crept in, but I think that's a sort of a reflection on our commitment that this is, you know, we're continuing to work essentially and improve. And so, yeah, adding to the family helps us sort of grow everything and support everyone, really. And yeah, fingers crossed.
Thank you, George.
All right, thank you. No, thank you, Tom.
Big success for this new release because it's very impressive. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks very much.